So we've been waiting on a Marvel Legends comic book based Mandarin for almost 20 years now. And that's crazy because the original Iron Man dropped in theaters way back in 2008, which is just 3 more years away from being 20 years. Craziness. And in that span of time, we have not gotten one Mandarin figure. I'm not counting Trevor from Iron Man 3, but he's too important not to have gotten a better and updated Marvel Legends figure. Hasbro has been slowly crossing off everything on the Toy Biz front. Mandarin is one of those going, hey, don't forget about me. So today, Hasbro said, we got you. He's covered. We're crossing Mandarin off the list. And they gave us a figure that's not quite but a lot of us were hoping to see from a Marvel Legends Mandarin. Let's talk about it right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Mandarin is a big time villain. He is Iron Man's Lex Luthor, his Joker, his Green Goblin, Doc Octopus. He's also his Magneto, his Doctor Doom. Think of any major hero, and they're complete opposite villain. That's the Mandarin to Iron Man. And it's been wild that we've gotten so many Iron Man characters. And when you kind of think about it, we haven't gotten a lot of villains, gotten a lot of Iron Man armors, but we still need a slew of his villains. We got a Spy Master figure, but we've needed a better version of Mandarin in figure form. The last one, the one that has been holding court in my collection for way longer than he should at this point, is this one from way back in the day with Hasbro's Face Off version. This guy, this is a decent figure. It has really become outdated. That soft goods, not quite soft goods, more of a vinyl robe, makes posing insanely hard. And he's gotten progressively smaller compared to Hasbro's sized up Marvel Legends. So he doesn't really work anymore. But again, the robe has some excellent sculpting detail on it, and the head sculpt's really nice. And he's got 10 rings. So Hasbro decided to drop some new figures. Dan Yoon on the marketing team said, we got some Marvel Legend drops for you this week. And we already knew we were getting the X-Men 2-pack of Wolverine and Storm. That was going up for pre-order this Wednesday. So I'm excited about that one. Was not expecting to see Mandarin today. Displaying model behavior. Some of our other favorite YouTube Marvel Legend leakers were like, Mandarin is coming. But I kind of feel like this was not the one anyone had on there. This is the version of Mandarin I want to see. The wish list. So here's what we got: the 2-pack with Extremis Iron Man. And it's basically the same generic suit body. He's got a little longer overcoat, but it's a suit body. And this looks so small. I mean, this works kind of sort of for a Matt Murdock. Definitely does it for Happy Hogan. They gave him a whole new suit body, but I just don't quite understand if you're going to go with the suit version for Mandarin. Again, this is completely comic book accurate. Why go with the slender buck? He would have been a great opportunity to revisit the suit mold if you had to absolutely go this route, as opposed to giving us this reused body. And yeah, he's got some cool new hand sculpts. Those look different. They're missing a key element to the Mandarin figure, though. And we've got this one. I didn't read the Extremis Iron Man arc. I only am familiar with this from the Avenger titles, but I'm not quite sure why Mandarin is aged up as well. But anyway, not a big issue. This is the look for Mandarin in the comic books during this time. You'll note he's got his rings, and they don't have as much detail as they used to back in the day. These are just bogus rings with a circle design. That's not as fun as having some different gem on each one like we saw back in the day. And this is a pretty simple look for him. He's a business casual guy. He's all set to go have a board meeting after beating down Iron Man, and it's fine. This is certainly a comic book true version, but I mean, if you take a look at this is a smooth looking Mandarin. He's not a skinny, scrawny guy in a suit. He's a pretty formidable looking guy. This one looks like he's been on a diet, getting ready for swimsuit season. So I don't really love that look for him. And again, this is a valid comic book version, but boy, this is about the least exciting version of Mandarin they could have gone with. There's so many other ones to go with, which I will break down very soon. But let's take a look at this pack, this two pack. So we got the Iron Man Extremis, and this is a solid looking version of the Extremis armor. They've even gone the extra route, giving us a different head sculpt. So it's not a smiling, happy Tony Stark. He's not like, hey, where's the champagne, Pepper? He's looking fierce, ready to go. Got this cool mask. I always thought that was a cool look for the Extremis armor. He's got the hinges on his repulsor spraying hands, which is nice. He's got fist, of course, and he's got the burst to use for the repulsors, for the jet exhaust, whichever way you want to go with that. Here's a few more looks at it. Here's the back. So you can see the inspiration for this Mandarin right down to this swinging, flying tie. But you'll note here that the rings look a little bit different. I mean, they've got some different colors. So this is something that you would want to have if you're going to go with this really hyper generic version of Mandarin. Now you'll note here that the goatee is a little bit closer cropped. It's not as long and his hair isn't quite as flowing as this one. So you can see they were like, all right, let's tone it down a little bit further, even still as well. Now, the Mandarin has been a controversial name because for so long, when we were doing these wish lists, people were going, "You can't use the term Mandarin anymore. It's offensive." And I am a black guy, which means I am not going to say what should be offensive to Asian folks, Asian collectors, Asian people in general. I'm not going to go, "Hey, you shouldn't be offended by that." Nope. I'm going to go, "All right, I'm taking your cues, whatever." So, I've been hearing all this time Mandarin is offensive. We can't say that, but Marvel's Mandarin, I guess, works around that. We don't have to worry about that, supposedly. And then we got the side art. You can see here it's a little bit more exciting look for Mandarin. This is not gray white hair, or at least it doesn't look like from this art. Maybe this, but we got this look. The rings look cool, and I'm bringing up the rings constantly for a reason, in which I will show you very soon. So here's Iron Man hitting the heroic landing pose. Looks sweet. And this shade of red and yellow looks really good. Like this is a nice looking Iron Man figure. And here he is in full detail. So you can really take him in and appreciate all this stuff. Again, there's the head sculpt with Tony Stark. This is what he looks like straight up. And this is a nice looking Iron Man. And again, finally getting the hinges here and not having them swing and rotate deal here. It's just a back and forth. This is what's been needed for Iron Man figures for a long time. Kudos there. Here's what the previous Iron Man Extremis figure looked like. So you can see right away major differences. The red, not quite as shiny as the new one. We've got gold in this previous version. So this one is yellow. So you can see how much cleaner, brighter that one looks. And it looks like this torso section is also wider and bigger. Let's see here. So it definitely looks like we got a little bit more of a unique mold going here. Wider, thicker element here. Got this part here, and then a hinge. Let's see. Is that also true? No. So it doesn't have the hinge here. So that is a newly articulated Iron Man piece here. So you're getting an upgrade thanks to this hinge joint here and our rotating torso there. So you can see they put in some work. It's not the same old figure, which is nice. And the paint job, again, makes it look better anyway. So we've got a better articulated version of Extremis Iron Man to go along with this Mandarin. So maybe that's some incentive to pick it up. And for those who missed out on the Extremis Iron Man, definitely a reason to get it. Here's some other shots of Mandarin. Now you can see here, he's got the rings, which is great. And they actually look like they've got colored gems on all the different rings. That's good. I'm really not quite sure what to do with his head sculpt. I'm thinking maybe I can just get another suit body, throw this head sculpt, and have him be one of the minions, one of the goons of Mr. Negative, because I don't really see that look for him as Mandarin either. But there you go. So there's some more options for you. Maybe that's the way to go for what I've been complaining and griping about oh so subtly all this time. You'll note the claw hand here is missing 10 things or 5 things on this hand. No rings. That is crazy. And I'm sure, comic maybe he decides I'm going to dump all my rings, but it's just weird to not have a Mandarin figure after all this time and not have that. I mean, these hand sculpts would have been pretty good for a Mandarin figure if he had the rings. I just don't understand why they're missing here. And this head sculpt is really dramatic and really like something with the hair flying around, but it's just, I don't know. There's just something that's not screaming Mandarin. And I know that was a weird way to phrase that, but it's just not. And then the trails here, the energy trails that we see so often with Scarlet Witch, with Jean Grey, with Magneto, with Human Torch, they don't make any sense here. And I'm just, all right, guys, y'all love that effect piece. It's okay if you went with some new ones. I wouldn't be upset. So that's Mandarin. This is all the stuff he comes with. So you can see he has one set of hands that apparently has the rings. Doesn't look like they're on these grabbing ones. The clawed hands don't look like it either. That is quite the interesting choice. I think this head sculpt for the Mandarin it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I don't feel like that is a problem more so than his size and just how small he looks. I do think this tie part does look a little weird, but because it should be clipped in this little middle section here, but there you go. So this is what we've got from Mandarin, and I'm just not enthused with it. Here again, you can see the full on lack of rings. That is very disappointing. I don't mind the head sculpt. I actually think that is more fitting for how he typically is portrayed. He's not a raving lunatic, but there's some calm sereneness to him. So he's not getting all worked up over Tony Stark. But I mean, why are the rings not carrying over? You just had one job. And yeah, we got a new overlay for the suit jacket, but come on. I mean, was it really that hard to just sculpt the rings? You're not doing anything else with this body. So, I mean, it's just the hands were really that was too easy not to include. So here you go. Now this is the image that got a lot of people upset. Like, what? This isn't even looking like the Mandarin. But I've read online and I've seen some people's comments that they're cool with this. They like this look of the Iron Man Extremis, and I think he's actually more of a standout than the Mandarin figure, who should have been the selling point for it. And they've been like, oh, okay, yeah, we also got an Iron Man, but this Iron Man actually has great articulation. This could be a sneaky hit figure. I mean, because he really looks like he gets some poses that we haven't been able to do for a lot of Iron Man figures. And let's check these shoulders against my original one. It looks like he's got a lot more range in those shoulders, too. So he looks like he's going to be one of the more articulated Iron Man figures. Looks like he can do a lot there. So I'm actually excited about this figure way more than the Mandarin. Now, that led me to thinking, of course, how could they have done a Mandarin figure? And I think probably would appeal to more of us. And there's several options. And like I said, I'm not going to say, well, this look isn't offensive, but here's something that I think with a little toning it down a bit. Maybe the goatee doesn't need to be so long. And I was gonna say the nails, but it looks like this figure has nails, so that's not a problem. So, and then the name of the Mandarin, well, okay, doesn't look like that was an issue either. I mean, we got the long claw hands. I thought that might be something that would be considered offensive, but apparently not. So anyway, what are some other looks we could have seen? Now, this one is a wild look for the Mandarin, but I kind of like just how different it looks. I mean, he's got a totally different, he's got a glove hand here, he's got a little bracelet slash gauntlet going. This is a really interesting look for Mandarin. Maybe that's one that could be considered offensive, but I mean, if we got like the trim goatee like this, like with the figure that we've seen that we're showing today, I don't really know if that would have been something that couldn't work either. I think this would stand out for sure on your supervillain show. And certainly in your centerpiece of your Iron Man villains display. I think this would be a nice looking figure. Then there's another one. And I just looked at this Alex Ross portrait because Alex Ross showed how cool this design could look. Again, I'm fine if they have to tone down the goatee some, but I mean, this look really looks amazing. And you can see how distinct all the rings look too. And that's definitely something for our next Mandarin figure. I would love to see them actually put the time and effort into making each one look different and individualized. Then we got another one Now, this is more of a comic book look for this. And again, check out all the detail on those rings. And I mean, again, we got the claw hands, which is something I thought was a no for a Mandarin figure. That was going to be a problem, but okay. I mean, we got a yelling head sculpt, and I'm confused because I was just like, well, what's the issue? I mean, this is certainly generic supervillain costume. It is not a thing of, man, this is so offensive, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable saying that. But this one I think would have been a really fun looking figure as well. And here's another one they could have gone with that certainly would have made sense for a two pack, just in the sense of maybe this is not something that people want to buy for their solo Mandarin. Now, this is far more stylized. It's an bladed armor situation. But I'm kind of feeling like that one could have been another one. It wouldn't have been offensive, and people would have been like, oh, yeah, this is cool. It reminds me of the Axe of Vengeance look. Okay, so then there's a few more looks that I think they could have also tried and implement as well. There's this one. Now, this is the one I just showed you earlier that Toy Biz actually did a figure on. This is one that could have just needed a soft goods robe. I know we don't really get that too often from Marvel Legends, but we got this version of Iron Man in figure form. I think this would have made for a really cool figure. I'm not sure where the robes fall in terms of being offensive, but if they are not considered offensive these days, I think this would make for a really fun, dynamic looking figure because you can have that removable mask setup deal, and that'd have been cool. Oh, then we got this one. I think this one could skew a bit more towards the where are my pearls? I need to clutch them. But I really love the design. This Marvel Universe two pack of Mandarin and Iron War Machine or Iron Man was fantastic. And just this is such a well done figure. I still have this in my Marvel Universe collection, which maybe you'll see behind me. And then we have this one. Now they've skewed really closely to, hey, we love the Iron Man cartoon. This is one I can't see how this is one that would have been offensive to anybody unless they didn't like the cartoon. But here's one, and I think that's one they could have done with no problem. So lots of different choices. The suit look is, I think, this biggest crime is it's just boring. And not all the hand sculpts have the rings, which I think for any Mandarin figure absolutely has to be essential. I know there's some fans of this design, so congratulations to you. I'm holding out because I want to see a better looking, I don't say better looking. I want to see a more dynamic looking Mandarin figure. But that Iron Man really does look sweet. Let me know what you think. Are you satisfied? Are you happy with this look for Mandarin? Or are you like, nope, wrong, try again? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.